Alright, so this video is Conic Sections Part 2. We're still talking about circles. We're going to look at a specific type of example where we're given the general form. Notice the general form here. We have x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 20y plus 45 equals 0. So we want to take this general form and we want to change it into standard form. And then we want to find the center and the radius for the circle. So we got a little practice of this with this when we were working on completing the square, and we have x squared and we have y squared and we have some x's and y's and a constant over here. So we're going to have to actually complete the square twice. So I'm going to rearrange and put in some placeholders. So I've got x squared minus 6x, and then I'm going to have to add something to this to complete the square, plus y squared minus 20y, and then I'm going to have to add something to that. And I'm going to take this 45 and move it to the other side. So essentially I'm subtracting 45 from both sides. So negative 45. And then if I add these two things over on the left, I'm going to have to add those two things over on the right as well. So when we complete the square, we look at our x term. So we have negative 6, so we want to take half of that. So that's negative 3, and then we square it. Then we're going to look at our the coefficient of the y term, so that's negative 20, so half of that is negative 10, and then we'll square it. So now we have a perfect square trinomial here and a perfect square trinomial here. Since I'm adding negative 3 squared here, I'm going to add negative 3 squared over here, negative 10 squared on the left, so negative 10 squared on the right. Okay, so the perfect square trinomial over here is going to factor to x minus 3 squared, and then this perfect trinomial here is going to factor to y minus 10 squared, and then we've got negative 45 plus 9 plus 100, and if you figure that all out, it should be 64. So we finished the first part of the problem. This is the standard form, and then from this we're going to find the center. So the center is going to be 3, 10, and our radius, remember this is r squared, so I have to take the square root of that, so the radius is going to be the square root of 64, which is 8. So there's our center, and there's our radius. Alright, so let's try one more example. Suppose that we've got x squared plus y squared minus 24x plus 2y plus 109 is equal to 0. So again, we'll do a little bit of rearranging and leave some placeholders for completing the square. So I've got x squared minus 24x plus something that we're going to add there to complete the square with the x's, plus y squared plus 2y plus something to complete the square with the y's. Take my constant, move it over to the other side. So again, we're just subtracting 109 from both sides, so that's minus 109, and then plus our two additions on the left. So this space here, I'm going to take half of the x term, so that's negative 12, and square it. I'm going to take half of the y term, so half of 2 is 1, so 1 squared. So I put a negative 12 over here, squared, and a 1 squared over there. So factoring this perfect square trinomial, I've got x minus 12 squared, and then factoring the y's, I get y plus 1 squared, and then we have a negative 109 plus 144 plus 1, and that should give us 36. So there we've got the standard form, and from the standard form I can find the center, which is going to be 12, negative 1, and I can find the radius, which is going to be the square root of 36, which is just 6. So there's our center, there's our radius. Okay, if you have any questions or I went through anything too fast, make sure that you write them down in your notes and ask me first thing when we get into class the next time.